x. Okay, so taken the time t from 0 to t. So if it is having some constant velocity and it goes here, it is not changing continuously. Your velocity will change somewhere here. So what you will take, velocity equals to distance divided by time. Okay. Here velocity is changing after certain time. Again it will change after certain time. Velocity is changing in the discrete values. You can say after this much time it is changing. But instead of that one, if velocity is changing after very small interval of time, if velocity is changing continuously, if velocity is a continuous function of the time, then how we can calculate? This won't work. This x is what? X is total distance. Now what do you want? You want this x. What is there in this much interval of time? Okay. So here you have to take what? Very small displacement. Okay. So for this small displacement, time taken is not going to be t. So time taken is also going to be what? Small t or small interval of time. So v equals to what you can write? Delta x divided by delta t. Okay. Again, still it is changing continuously. If it is changing in a very small interval of time, so then what will happen? Again you have to divide this time, this distance or this displacement and time. So this is going to be what? This is going to be a very small dx, and time interval is what? Very small. So time interval is going to be what? Time interval is going to be almost what you can say it almost tends to 0. Means what? Time is say 0.0001 second, like that. It is what it is closest to the 0. Okay, means closest to 0 means what? We are taking a very small interval of time. Okay. So if that is the condition, we have to impose what? We have to impose this limit on this velocity. Okay. So velocity equals to, it will become what? Limit of, what limit you are putting? You are putting limit delta t should be very small. Time interval it should be very small. Okay. So delta x divided by delta t. Okay. Now velocity equals to what? You can write this limit of delta x by delta t, and delta t tends to 0, you can write it as simply dx by dt. Okay, this is what you can call it as differential form of velocity. Okay, so differential form of velocity. Okay, so with the help of this also you can find the velocity. When velocity is changing continuously, when position is changing continuously, you can calculate velocity with the help of what? With the help of p equal to dx by dt. Okay, so remember this one. How to find this delta x by delta t only we are going to discuss in this class. Okay, so similarly, suppose here it is 0, here it is velocity is v. So if it has taken the time t, to change velocity from 0 to v, it is taking how much time? It is taking time t. So what you can write? Acceleration equals to v divided by t, change in velocity divided by change in time. Suppose this velocity is changing continuously again. So what you can say? You can say delta v, time taken is delta t. So acceleration equals to delta v divided by delta t. Okay. So now what you can write? Acceleration equals to what limit you have to put? You have to put limit as this delta t tends to what? Delta t tends to 0. So acceleration equals to limit of time interval is very small, that is nearly 0, dv delta v by delta t. Okay, so this limit delta t tends to 0, delta v by delta t, what you can write? You can write it as simply dv by dt. Okay, so this is what? Differential form of what? Differential form of acceleration. Differential form of acceleration. So what I can write? I can write acceleration equals to dv by dt. Okay, so that if you want to find the acceleration, if the velocity is continuously changing, then we have to use the formula A equals to dv by dt. Okay, now you can write this in the form of dx by dt also. X is what? Displacement, but now it is in the form of what? Velocity. So if you want to write Acceleration also in the form of what? In the form of displacement. So what you can use? So acceleration equals to what? Acceleration equals to dv by dt. Okay, so acceleration equals to, write d by dt as it is. D by dt as it is. What is v? V is dx by dt. Okay, so v is dx by dt. Okay, so now remember, we cannot write here d square x by d square t square. Okay, so what we can write is d square x divided by, don't write d square t square, you have to write what? dt square. Okay, so acceleration equals to dx square divided by dt square. Okay, so this is going to be what? Acceleration in the form of what? In the form of differential equation, where what your displacement or x is, and x and t are going to be what? Variables. Okay, so as of now you just remember v equals to dx by dt, a equals to dv by dt, and acceleration you can also write it as what? D square x by dt square. Okay, so if you differentiate, what you understood here is, if you differentiate x, if you differentiate x one time, so what you will get? You will get velocity dx by dt, velocity. If you differentiate it one more time, means two times, so what you will get? D square x by dt square. That is what? That is acceleration. Okay, if you differentiate x one time, you will get velocity. If you differentiate x two times, you will get what? You will get acceleration. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the velocity or acceleration when it is a continuous function of time. Now we have to discuss how we can differentiate. Okay, so that I am going to take a little part of mathematics. So we will see how to differentiate, then we can go with the examples of finding velocity and acceleration when it is the continuous function of time. We will see a simple differentiation. Okay, so remember, it is not at all a small chapter, it's a very big chapter in your mathematics. What I will take, what is required for our calculation, I will take only that part of the mathematics. So you try to understand only that much. Okay, so don't worry about whole differentiation, we should know something like that. So what you can, suppose if I say differentiation of x, so what you can write? You can write it as dx. So dx by dx you can say. So what you can write? So what you will get? You will get it as, say, 1. Differentiation of x is 1. Remember. Suppose it is x square. What is differentiation of x square? Dx square by dx is equals to. So what you can write is 2 into x. Okay. So differentiation of x square is 2 into x. Differentiation of x cube, dx cube by dx, what you can write? You can write it as 3x square. Differentiation of x raised to 4, dx 4 divided by dx, what you will get? You will get it as 4x cube. Then what I am doing here, what technique is going on here? So I will give a general formula for this one. If I take differentiation of xn, d of xn divided by dt. No need to write this thing, just I am writing, make you to understand. Directly you can write differentiation of x is 1, differentiation of x square is 2x, differentiation of x cube is 3x square, differentiation of x4 is 4x cube, differentiation of xn. You may have 1, 2, 3, whatever. Okay. So what you can write? Differentiation of xn is n into x raised to n minus 1. N into x raised to n minus 1. We'll see whether this formula is right or not. So what formula I have written? I have written x raised to n, differentiation of x raised to n, what I have written? I have written it as n into x raised to n minus 1. N into x raised to n minus 1. So n is what here? N is a constant number, okay, or integer. N is integer. So what is the x? X is a variable. Okay, so x is the variable. Now here what is there? If nothing is there, means what is there? 1 is going to be there. If I write x raised to 1, so n is what? N is 1 here. So n equals to 1 here. So substitute n equals to 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1. So 1 into x raised to what? 1 minus 1 is 0. X raised to 0 is what? 1 only. So x raised to 0 is what? 1 into 1 is what? 1 into 1 is 1. So you got 1 here. Suppose if I take x square. So x square. Okay. So n equals to what? N is 2 here. N is 2. Okay. So what you can write? N means 2 into x raised to n minus 1 means 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1. So 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1 means what? 1. So what is this? 2 into x. 2 into x you are getting. Okay. So similarly, x cube. What is n here? N is 3. N is 3. Okay. So here it is n. N is equals to 3. So n into means 3 into x raised to 3 minus 1. N minus 1 means what? 3 minus 1. So what you will get? 3 into x raised to 2. 3 into x raised to 2. So you are getting here 3 into x raised to 2. Okay. So similarly, if it is x raised to 4. So 4 into x raised to 4. 4 into x raised to 4 minus 1 means 3. So 4 into x raised to 3 it will come. Okay. So like this you can go on. If it may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 10, it may be 1000, whatever. You have to apply what? You have to apply this formula. Okay. So differentiation of x raised to n is n into x raised to n minus 1. Okay. So one more very important thing is, say if suppose it is a constant. Suppose it is a constant. Suppose x is not there. Suppose it is having say some 5. Only 5 is there. Nothing is there. What is the differentiation of 5? So what is the differentiation of 5? Variable is not there only, x is not there only, or other variable is not there only. So can you write this as x raised to 0? X raised to 0 is 1. So again what left is? What left is 5. So if you substitute this one, 5 into x raised to, so what is there? 0 is there. So 0 into x raised to 0 minus 1. So 0 into everything will become what? 0. 0 into everything will become what? 0. So what you can write? So differentiation of 5 is going to be what? 0. Differentiation of a. Differentiation of a. A is what? A is not a variable. It is a constant. So that is also going to be 0. Differentiation of something b going to be 0. That means what I mean to say is differentiation of constant. Differentiation of constant is what? Always 0. Differentiation of constant is always 0. Remember this one. Differentiation of constant is what? Differentiation of constant is 0. Okay. So one more very important thing. Instead of like this, here what? Only 5 is there. But instead of 5, if I have the 5 into x square or 5 into x, if I am having 5 into x, now you can do no problem. 5 you write as it is. 5 you can write as it is. So differentiation of x is what? X raised to 1 is there. So 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1. Okay. So 5 you write as it is. 1 is there, write as it is. X raised to 0. Okay. So x raised to 0 is what? 1. 5 into 1 into 1. So what you will get? You will get 5. If it is a into x, so what you can write? A into x means n is what? N equals to 1. So 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1. So a into 1 into, so x raised to 0 is what? 1. So what you will get? You will get it as 0. Okay. If only constant is there, it is going to be 0. Remember, if only constant is there, it is going to be 0. If a constant is having some variable x, t or something, then it is not going to be a 0. It is it is going to be you can solve it, you will get the some constant value at there. Okay, so instead of this one, if it is say a into x square, so how we can write? You can write it as a into x square, n equals to 2 means 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1. So a into 2 write as it is. So x raised to 2 minus 1. X raised to 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So what you can write? You can write it as 2ax. 2ax. Okay. Simply just what I am doing is I am applying this formula n into x raised to n minus 1. If only constant is there, it will become what? 0. If constant is having some variable in front of that, it is not going to be 0. Okay. So these are the what is simple differentiation. Okay. Suppose instead of x, it may be having t also. Suppose if you want to know differentiation of t square with respect to t only, if time is variable, so what you can write? This will become 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1. This will become what? 2 into t. If it is t raised to q, so 3 into x, t raised to 3 minus 1. So this is going to be what? 3 into t square. If it is t raised to n, so what you can write? n into t raised to n minus 1. Okay. So in place of x, what I am writing? In place of x, I am writing t. So you can write that formula also. What you can write? T raised to n is equals to differentiation of t raised to n is equals to, here x was variable, so you are differentiating with respect to x. So you are writing d square dx by dx. Okay, here variable is what? Variable is time. So I am writing t here. So this will become n into t raised to n minus 1. Okay. So like this you can differentiate the terms. Okay. So we will solve a few simple problems, you will understand. Okay. So I will take few more examples of differentiation, then we will go with our Gaussian straight line. Okay. So whatever we are doing now is purely mathematics. Okay. So suppose you are having x raised to, I will take it as suppose 10 into x raised to 2. Okay. If you differentiate this one, so what will happen? Differentiating, what will happen? 10 is constant, you write 10 as it is. X square you can write it as x raised to n equals to what? N equals to 2. So x raised to n is what? N into x raised to n minus 1. So 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1. So 10 write as it is, 2 write as it is. X raised to 2 minus 1 is what? X raised to 1. So 10 into 2, 20 into x. 20 into x. Okay, so difference of 10 into x square is what? 20 into x. So similarly, suppose you are having x cube. What is the one-time differentiation? You differentiate. What you will get? You will get it as 3 into x raised to 3 minus 1. That is 3 into x raised to 2. Okay. Now I will differentiate this once again. So again differentiate. So what you will get? 3 write as it is. X raised to 2 means what? 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1. So what you can write it as? You can write it as 3 into 2, 6. X raised to 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So that is 6x. What I am doing here is I am differentiating 2 times. One time differentiation you will get velocity, 2 time differentiation you will get acceleration. Okay, that we will see later. But this is what mathematical, if you can differentiate 2 times. You can differentiate 3 times also. Okay. So suppose if it is you are having say a into x square. Differentiate 1 time. What you will get? You will get as a into 2 x raised to 2 minus 1. So a into 2 x raised to 2 minus 1 is what? X raised to 1. So what you can write? You can write as 2a into x. 2a into x. Differentiate it once again. 2a write as it is. differentiation of x, what is there? N equals to 1, so 1 x raised to, so what you can write, x raised to 1 minus 1, so 2a, 1 you write as x raised to 1 minus 1 is what? X raised to 0. X raised to 0 is what? X raised to 0 is 1, so 2a into 1 into 1, so what you will get? You will get it as 2e. You will get it as 2e. In solving the problems of straight line motion, I am not going through all these things. Directly I will write differentiation of x square, I will write 2a into x. Differentiation of 2a into x, I will directly write 2a. You should be able to understand. Okay, so that is why practice it. Practice it properly, so you will get it. It is not that much difficult. There is no rocket science in this one. Okay. So then you may ask me, if it is say x raised to minus 1 or x raised to minus 2, what you have to do? Simple. So differentiate. So what you will get? N equals to what here? N equals to minus 2. So write n into x raised to n minus 1. So n is what? Minus 2. Right? Minus 2. Right? Minus 2 into x raised to, this is what? Minus 2 minus 1. So minus 2 into x raised to minus 3. Minus 2 minus 1. Okay. So what you will get? You will get minus 2x into raised to minus 3. Okay. So this is how you can solve. They can give anything x to the power. They can give anything x t to the power. What you have to do? You have to just apply this formula. Okay. So if suppose they give something y equals to x square plus x. If they go like this, y equals to what? X square plus x. So differentiate this one. So dy by dx is equals to, differentiation of x square is what? 2 into x raised to 2 minus 1 plus differentiation of x is what? 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1. So this is what? 2 into x raised to 1 plus 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1 is what? 0. So what remains here is 1. So 2x plus 1. Don't worry on this side, you write as it is, because x is not here. Here x is not here. Okay. So similarly, I can write it as, say, y equals to, say, ax. So ax plus, can I write it as ax plus b? Okay. So now dy by dx is equals to, dy by dx is equals to, okay. So what you can write? A into, so x raised to 1 into x raised to 1 minus 1. Differentiation of constant. Differentiation of constant is what? 0. Differentiation of constant is what? 0. So a into x raised to 1 minus 1 is what? 0. Plus this is also 0. So a into x raised to 0 is 1. So that is to 0. So no need to worry about that one. So what remains is only a remains. Only a remains. Okay. So like this you practice the by taking x square, x cube plus x square plus 2x, something like that. So you will come to know that. So again I will take example. Okay. So suppose y equals to, say, or suppose if I take s equals to, say, t square plus say some 2t, t square plus 2t. So differentiate with respect to what? Differentiate with respect to t. Here x is not there, t is there. Okay. If it is t, if s is function of t, differentiate with respect to t. If s is function of x, differentiate with respect to x. So ds by dt, not dx, dt. Okay. So t square, what you can write? 2 into t. Or if you want to apply the formula, n into t raised to n minus 1, 2 minus 1 plus 2 is constant, you write as it is, t. So t raised to, what is there? 1 is there, so 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1. Okay. So 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1 is 1 plus 2 into t raised to 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay. So 2t plus 2 into t raised to 0 is what? 1. So 2t plus 2. 2t plus 2. It is what going to be differentiation of ds by d. Okay. So if you want, I will differentiate this one more time. Differentiate one more time. Differentiate one more time. So what you can write? So if you differentiate this one more time, it will become what? D square s by dt square equals to 2, right, as it is. Differentiation of t raised to 1. 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1 plus differentiation of constant is what? 0, because 2 is what? T is constant. So 2 into t raised to 0 plus 0. T raised to 0 means what? 1. So 2 into 1 is 2. This is to 0. Don't worry about that. Okay. So this is what how you can differentiate. Okay. So I will take one more example. Suppose y equals to, say, t cube plus a into t square. T cube plus a into t square. Differentiate with respect to t. So what you can write? dy by dt equals to 3 into t raised to 3 minus 1 n into t raised to n minus 1, okay, plus a, right, as it is, t square 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1, okay. So this is what? 3 into t, 3 minus 1 is 2, so t square plus 2a into 2 or 2 into a, same, t raised to 2 minus 1 is what? T. So this is what? dy by dt. So this is what one time differentiation. If you want to differentiate one more time, so second differentiation, okay, differentiate one more time. So what will happen? It will become d square y by dt square is equals to, don't think that sir is writing wrong here to d square y, so here also d square t. No, d square y by dt square only. This is what the process of differentiation. Okay. So 3 into t square. 3 into t square means 3, right, as it is constant, t square. 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1 plus 2e, right, as it is. T is there, so t means 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1. If nothing is there means what? 1 is always going to be there. So now 3 into 2 is 6. T raised to 2 minus 1 means t. T raised to 2 minus 1 means what? T raised to 1. T raised to 1 means what? T only plus 2a, right, as it is. So t raised to it is 0. T raised to it is 0. Okay. So this is what? 6t plus t raised to 0 means what? 1. So it is 2a into 1. So 6t plus 2a. Okay. So simple examples I have given you. Try to practice. If you understood, it is very good. If you are feeling difficulty, don't worry about that one. Okay, skip this part. Okay. So again, you will come to know that when you come to college. Okay. So based on this, this is whatever I have done today is what? It is just a mathematical part. Okay. You practice it properly. In next class, I will apply all these things to solve the problems in the motion straight line, where when the velocity is changing continuously, when acceleration is changing continuously. Okay, so be ready for the next class. So to get ready for next class, what is required? This is what required. Okay, very simple. What you have to remember: differentiation of x raised to n is n into x raised to n minus 1. Differentiation of x raised to n is n into x raised to n minus 1. If you know that one, that is enough, nothing else. Okay, I want only that formula. How to apply that formula? You have to practice all these things. So be ready for the next